Well, I think my new year has already been ruined. And I think I'm about to cry. In case you haven't heard, Chelsea Football Club have agreed to part ways with Enzo Maresca after a turbulent December, which leave Chelsea only winning 2 games out of their last 8. Honestly, I don't really know what to do with this video, I just know I wanted to make one on the topic. So let's see where this goes. Enzo Maresca came in the summer of 2024. He had high hopes and big dreams. And boy did he fulfill them. In his first season, he won the Conference League and he won the Club World Cup, which was a trophy that no one expected Chelsea to win. After this, it would be true to say that everything was sunshine and rainbows at Chelsea Football Club. In his first season at Chelsea, he had won 2 trophies and got Chelsea into the Champions League positions. Surely more success was to come, no? Well, so far this season, it hasn't been bad, and I think the board were prepared to look past the club's occasional loss as long as they were still doing well. Like, we went unbeaten in November. But then it got to December, and that's when everything went downhill. It started with a 3-1 loss to Leeds. It's frustrating, but it happens. Then a 2-1 loss to Atalanta followed, but we did bounce back with a 2-0 win against Everton. But his post-match press conference was probably where things started to go icy between Maresca and the boards. Not probably, definitely. As he came out and said that the last 48 hours had been his worst at Chelsea. I did break it down more in this video, but I think most people thought nothing of it because Maresca had just won 2 trophies and probably had enough, I'm going to go with brownie points, to say what he wanted and just about get away with it, which was something other managers in the past couldn't. Looking at you, Frank. And this probably wasn't helped after Chelsea's lucky 2-2 draw away at St James's Park, which was then followed by a 2-1 loss to Aston Villa and a 2-2 draw to Bournemouth. Now, I was just hoping that it was Chelsea's usual December shitness, because this happened last year as well, where we could barely win a game in December. Then we came back in January, started poorly, but then we actually did get going. But clearly the owners and the board didn't see it that way, and this is what led to Fabrizio Romano reporting last night that things were tense at Chelsea, and it was likely that Maresca would leave in the next 24 to 48 hours for when he posted that tweet. Then I wake up at midday today to find out that Chelsea and Enzo Maresca have parted ways with immediate effect. But why? Why has this happened? Well, it could be argued that the performance wasn't there. And I think that is true. But I think most people can read between the lines and realise it had nothing to do with the team's performance. I think, and I'm pretty sure most Chelsea fans would agree, that the problem is with the owners and the sporting directors. What a surprise. Another manager leaves because he couldn't get along with the owners. The last time this happened was with Thomas Tuchel, who was also the last manager to actually win silverware at this club. And even then, it wasn't even under Clearlake. But if you look more into it, I think you'll see that it is not all the owners, because no one has mentioned the name Todd Boehly in a while. And this has everything to do with the co-owner Vidal Bali. And from what I have read, the main reason Maresca left was because of a falling out with Bali, which is crazy because I'm pretty sure Bali chose Maresca. From what I've read, it wasn't really liked by the board and the sporting directors when Maresca came out and said the things he said after the Everton game. And it probably wasn't helped when the news broke that Man City were looking at Maresca to take over if Pep Guardiola was to leave in the summer, which I think he will. But we also saw the tension between Maresca and the board when he also came out and said that he wanted to sign an experienced centre-back and the board wouldn't let him. But then all this culminated in Maresca refusing to go to the post-match press conference after the Bournemouth game, stating that he was unwell when he actually wasn't. So I think the board thought it was time to part ways with him, something that I'm pretty sure all the fans disagree with. But what next for Chelsea? Well, I think we're fucked, quite frankly. Our next game in the Premier League is away at the Etihad against Man City, and I'll be so honest, we're gonna die. We lost 3-1 to them last season, and that was with Maresca in charge, and we had a shit Robert Sanchez. Shock. But yeah, without Maresca, we're gonna die. Then we have Arsenal in the Carabao Cup semi-finals. In our last game against them, we almost beat them, which is coincidentally our last good game we played. Well, the last good 90 minutes we played. But Arsenal were not playing well then, and their performance against Villa tells me that that is very different now. So we're also gonna die. So yeah, I think the board has royally screwed the club again. But with Maresca gone, who will take over? Right now, all reports are saying that the front runner is Liam Rossignol from Chelsea's sister club Strasbourg. The good thing is Chelsea know who they don't want, and that is Oliver Glasner from Crystal Palace and Roberto De Zerbi, who I don't think is managing anyone. Actually, no, yes he is. He's currently managing Marseille. But they also don't want Cesc Fabregas, which I would admit disappoints me, because he's actually done well with Como in the Serie A, and he's a Chelsea legend, so I think the fans would actually respect him coming in and actually get behind him. But hey, since when has the board ever listened to anything the fans want? I mean, I have two hopes right now. The first is that Xavi takes over, because, well, it's Xavi. Or Willy Caballero takes over as interim manager until after the World Cup and we get Thomas Tuchel back. But I doubt that will happen after the last time. Well, there's always a chance that a certain manager from Coventry has a chance to go again for a third time.
Well, they say third time's the charm. Am I right? Hey, look, you know what I was saying, because obviously it's been a 3. No, but genuinely, I'd rather kill myself than work with Todd Bowley again.
But something tells me that probably won't happen. But yeah, there you have it. Another great manager goes because he couldn't get on with the board. But to finish, I feel I must talk about what Maresca has done for the club, because he has done so much in the, I'd say, year and a half he's been at the club. He came into what was essentially shambles after Pochettino left for basically no reason. Well, he didn't leave, he was sacked, but yeah. He brought back that mentality and the idea that this is a Chelsea team that we can actually be proud of, and not one that just finishes in 12th and are happy about it. And he's actually really improved the players. I think every single player at Chelsea has got miles better since Maresca's come in. Well, except for maybe Badiashile, Disasi and Raheem Sterling. But except for them, almost everyone else in the squad has improved so much under Enzo Maresca. Like Marc Cucurella, who can be considered as one of the best left-backs in the league. Like Robert Sanchez, who almost every fan wanted to be sold before Maresca came in. And now he's having an incredible season. Reece James and Wesley Fofana had not been injured for more than 3 minutes before Maresca came in. And now under him, Reece James has actually played multiple games the whole way through, the full 90 minutes. And Fofana, granted he's only just come back as well, but he's also playing longer. And he's also looking like a player who was worth the £75 million Chelsea actually spent on him. Actually, it might have been more, but yeah. Maresca's done so well at Chelsea, and I honestly can't believe that he's just gone now. So now I don't know what I'm going to do. Cry? Take it out on 100 push-ups? I don't know. But anyway, the Maresca chapter is over. So now we as Chelsea fans can only really dread what happens next. But all I can say to Enzo Maresca is thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. You clearly love this club and strive for perfection from the players and from basically everyone at the club. In return, you brought us 2 trophies, which I think Chelsea fans will never forget. And you will forever be loved by Chelsea fans for that. I wish you luck in all of your future endeavours. Thank you for everything.